Chloe Driver is currently being tried for unaliving her 1-year-old daughter. Now, she is claiming insanity, and if you want to see the prosecution's opening statement, please go to the video before. The defense's opening statement, after listening to the prosecution, she said, I got you. Let's get into it. What the prosecution left out is that Chloe met Ryan, her daughter's father, when she was 16 years old at a bus station. She then met up with him again when she was 17 and he was 38 years old. Keep in mind that Chloe, and again, this is covered in the prosecution's opening statement, was one of 3 wives. She was the first wife of Ryan. He then added 2 additional women. Now, the defense is stating that in his free time, Ryan would set up Christian trusts in the name of his beliefs. And in fact, had the other 2 wives, not her, file in 2020 for small business loans, essentially fraudulent loans, under the premise that they had a small business around spirituality teachings. They got $150,000, which is why Chloe had $68,000 in the bank. They had rules for the relationship. Actually, he had the rules. They just followed them. He controlled what they ate, what to wear, who they could talk to, and when they could even have their phones, when she could speak to her parents, etc. And as I mentioned previously, Ryan had actually assigned them different names. So while her name is Chloe, she would go by Kuani, and her daughter Hannah would go by Nimse. Now, she was told by him to not trust her parents and that they had done a lot of horrible things to her when she was a child. Keep in mind, Chloe, according to the defense, was too young to realize that this is actually not normal. They had a friend, and it was a family friend, and his name is Justin. Justin is going to testify that he saw her in May of 2020. Keep in mind, this all happened in December of 2020. When he saw her in May of 2020, he stated he didn't show any issues. You could tell she was a loving mother. She had no mental health issues. However, in September of 2020, he noticed that her mental state had in fact deteriorated. And he became concerned. So he spoke to Ryan. Keep in mind that Ryan does not believe in modern medicine, alternative medicine, nothing in relation to doctors. And he made it very clear that he did not believe in white coat intervention because she was breastfeeding and she needed to be pure for their child. He did believe that he could treat and self-diagnose her. Leading up to the tragic day where all of this happened in December of 2020, there were multiple red flags. And multiple people that stated that they loved her, that cared about her, refused to get her help. They ignored the signs and they supported when Ryan decided to give her CBD to calm her down and help her with her anxiety and her depression. Now, according to multiple witnesses, including this Justin, the CBD actually increased her erratic behavior and delusions. In fact, there were 2 situations that happened leading up to Hannah's death. First and foremost, November 25th of 2020, listen to this. Chloe ran out of the apartment they were in onto oncoming traffic and started screaming, begging strangers to help her get away from Ryan. There is a witness that has nothing to do with Ryan or anybody in that particular group that saw Justin, that family friend, come into the street and drag her back to where they were. That witness saw what was happening and started calling 911. What happened when that witness called 911? Well, she got hit by a car driven by Ryan, and Justin actually punched her in the eye and broke her eye socket. While all this is happening, Chloe continues to scream for someone to call the police to get her help and to save her and Hannah. Unfortunately, before the police could get there, Ryan and Justin forced her and Hannah into a vehicle and drove off. According to the defense, there are police reports about all of this that happened on that day. Thanksgiving 2020, so a couple of weeks later, Chloe desperately calls her parents and tells her, please come and get me. I'm in North Carolina. He is hurting me. They get in the car and they start driving. However, Ryan checks her phone and sees that she had called her parents. So what does he do? He grabs Hannah and leaves. Chloe's parents arrive to pick her up. And Ryan keeps the baby from from Chloe for 2 days. In fact, according to the defense, there is messages on Facebook and text messages that will show that he taunted her and practically forced her to return so that she could get back her baby. Keep in mind, she is breastfeeding full time. She doesn't have a birth certificate because even though she had the baby in the hospital, they had to leave, or Ryan forced her to leave, because he was concerned that they would have Hannah's information and that they could call DFAC on him. They state that there is also a video where she is just, before she went back to Ryan, just breaking down, desperate, that she doesn't have a choice but to go back to Ryan to get her child back. Ryan sends her an Uber to pick her up, to take her to the child. She has no idea where she's going. And the defense talks about, the prosecution states that there was a search on her phone for how to snap a neck, for how to unalive somebody while helping them, right? She said, but she also didn't tell you guys that she also searched how to buy a bus ticket for a 13-month-old and how to travel with a child without a birth certificate. She also searched for symptoms of schizophrenia and how to get mental help. In early December, she ends up going back to her parents' house with all of them, the other 2 wives, that family friend, and Ryan, to get the rest of her belongings. Her parents beg her to stay and to stay with the baby. And Chloe's like, I can't. Parents wanted to call the police, but were terrified that if they did so, they would never see her again or the baby. Prior to everything that happened in December of 2020, there are witnesses that'll state that Chloe was an amazing mom. She loved her daughter. Her daughter barely cried because Chloe was at her beck and call. That Chloe begged to get help. No one helped her. Now, they show pictures, and unfortunately, we're not able to see the pictures because it was kind of quick, showing her what she looked like at the age of 16, what she looked like after she was with Ryan, what she looked like alone with her baby, and as time passed, how all of her features and her face and demeanor completely changed. She is stating, the defense is stating, look, we're not stating that anyone here is a victim. We are stating that this happened because of these circumstances and that for that reason, she should be found not guilty due to insanity so that she can get the proper help that she needs. They just took a break. I will be posting witnesses, etc. Again, if you want to see the prosecution's opening statement so they can confuse you even more, see my video before this one. Talk to you soon.